Now, question is, put some heating on. It's Saturday night, it's mid-November. It's not cold. It's a bit nippy, but it's not cold. I'm sure I'm going to warm up. Or I'm going to warm up. A friend of mine gave me this TV. It's a Panasonic. So he said, if you can organise a courier and collect, you may have. Now, I'm always nervous about using couriers, but the box hasn't got any dents in it. And my friend Dave, who was like me, was a fellow radio presenter for years. I don't know how long Dave was a radio presenter for. Dave must have been... Well, I was 35 years. Dave, I bet you're longer than me, aren't you? Ooh. Nicely packed, Dave. Let's just get the bits out that we may need. I've never worked on this TV before. It's always nice working on something different. Now the TV is in an LG box, but it's not an LG TV. Oh wow, we've still got the receipt and instructions for it. Let's have a look what model it is then, shall we? What is it? It's a 32-inch smart Panasonic, that's all that I know. What more do I need to know? Model number, TXL32e6b. Here we go, here's the What Hi-Fi review. Oh, all sorts of things you have to agree to. Right, best 32, 2013, so it's 7 years old. £400 when it came out, is that right, Dave? Did you, you've given me the receipt. It was £400, that's what you paid for it. Wow. Feel like I've ripped you off because you've given it to me. But anyway, are there any pictures of it? Why has he gone to PayPal? I'm sure I've got gremlins in this machine. There we go. That's what it should look like. It's one of those. There it is. It is a old Viera Connect Smart TV. Be interested to see what apps it's still got, if I do manage to get it going again. Mind you, if that's the firmware, that's similar to this one here, which is a touchscreen plasma. Seems to be very similar to that, doesn't it? I don't know if you can see. I don't know what cameras we're on. Looks Well, anyway, we will have a play, and let me just gently unwrap this and we'll plug it in and see what's going on. I did say today one of the best things you can do when you're packing a TV is always just put a bit of protection on the front where the screen is. Because as we all know, the couriers do tend to kick these things about a bit. But I have to say, the box arrived, well, quite a few days ago now, just under a week ago. And it's come through Royal Mail. Is it Parcel Force? They're part of Royal Mail. There are two parcel companies part of Royal Mail, and I think it was Parcel Force. So far so good. It's looking like the screen is going to be intact. Let's hope so, because if it has been kicked around, doesn't look like it has. But if it has, then there's nothing we can do. Now it's a Panasonic, so I'm guessing there's an LG screen inside. If it is a backlight issue, I will not have the backlights here today, here and now. Not for this model. It's not one of the... It's not one of the common models. Oh, there's not much light on here, is there? Oh, looks like it's had a dent in the back. Rather the back than the front. I don't know if you can see that, but we have... Can you see? It's got a... So I'm not too sure if it was always like that, or again... I'm guessing it must have always been like that, because if that's had a kicking in transit to give it that sort of dent, then the screen would not have survived. I wouldn't have thought. Let's just double check this screen. Screen looks absolutely mint. Absolutely mint. So I don't know what happened at the back, but that doesn't matter. I'm guessing it's a figure of 8 lead, and I guess correctly. Now, amazingly, I'm running pretty short of figure of 8 lead, so I'm hoping, Dave, you've packed the air. When I say running short, I don't do many repairs here at home in my little workshop anymore. I do them mainly up at the other workshops I have up the road. Sounds posh, doesn't it? Other workshops. But there's 2 or 3 other workbenches I can choose from, and the others are much bigger and a bit more space, and a kitchen and everything. Anyway, I digress, which is something I always do. I've got no idea where the standby light's going to be. I think it's going to be there, so let's get said camera on the standby light. Right, let's have a look. I'll switch off the main lights. That should just give us enough light. Right, shall we switch it on, see what happens? See if it goes bang. It's come on. It's gone off. And you can probably see we're getting a 1 blink code. So let's just do that again. Switch it off, let it reset. I didn't get chance. I'm sure a picture came up, didn't it, for a second? If it did, that's a good sign. And a 1 blink code is a good sign. That does indicate backlights. Yeah, that's what I saw. I saw a flicker. But I thought I saw a picture as well. Yes, there we go. There's a picture and some apps, and it's trying to come on. And then it goes off into its error code. A 1 blink error code is a backlight issue. I've got no idea if this is edge lit or backlit, but there's only one way to find out. And we'll take the back off it and have a play. I mean, as I said, I haven't got the backlights here for this, but that doesn't mean I can't get it working tonight. We can just replace the odd LED bulb here somehow. A lot of my LED repairing kit is not in this workshop anymore, but I'm sure I've got the odd spare LED bulb we can temporarily fit in just to see if we can get the TV working. But first things first, we'll take it to bits, and we'll keep the cameras rolling while we take it to bits, because I haven't done one of these before. It's quite a heavy TV. For a 32-inch. Really is quite a heavy set. Just to confirm the model number. If this is an edge lit set, this will be part 1 of 2, because I haven't got... I've got a feeling this is an edge lit set. It's got that feel about it, and it's got that weight about it. But we can still strip it down to the edge lit backlights, and we can have a look at which of the backlights are not coming on. I mean, that's the thing I do, you know, not wanting to turn this into a rant. Rant. But that's the one thing I do dislike about Panasonics. The slightest fault, and it shuts the whole TV down and shows an error code. Whereas you get something like an LG, if the backlights go, the TV still comes on, you get sound, and you will see a slight picture in the background. And then it's darn obvious what the problem is. But oh no, not with Panasonic. With Panasonic you have to wait for the error code, decipher what that error code exactly means. Is it just that error code, or is that the first of 3 or 4 error codes? And you're still none the wiser, really. But since 2011, a one blink which you saw this go into. And that's the red light blinking. A lot of customers, when I say it's the standby light blinking, how many times? I mean when it goes red, because obviously on Panasonics in particular, they start off green, trying to come on, and then it's the red light which starts blinking the error code. I did have somebody once, I did say to them, I shouldn't laugh because, you know, they don't know. They don't mess around with TVs. But I did say, can you tell me how many times the red light blinks? It will blink a certain amount of times, then pause and blink again. And he said, yes, sir, I'll do that. Sorry, I'm trying to do it in an Irish accent. I don't know why, because it's comical. He said, yeah, I'll do that. And then he came back to me about 10 minutes later and he said, look, I've counted up to 101 so far, and I can't really just stand here watching it. And what it was just a one blink code. He didn't kind of get that it was going one blink, like this one blink, pause, one blink, pause. And so he got to about 133 and called me back and said, I can't carry on watching this. We're at 133 blinks. What does that mean? I'm glad I didn't put the heating on now, because the temperature inside is just right. One more screw. There's always one more screw. Maybe there's 2 more screws. Yes. Didn't see that one. That was a tiny one. Three more screws. Ah, there's a gooey bit here. Is there a screw hiding underneath that? There is. As I said, there's always 5 more screws. Definitely looking edge lit. And I can't see what the screen is. I would have thought this was an LG screen, but now this is looking like a Chinese type screen. Is there a label under that main board? Not that I can see. Right, we'll have to take everything off. It just isn't. Is there going to be a tiny label under the T-con? No. No tiny label under the tiny T-con. Okay, well, I'll take the speakers out, but everything else can stay in for now. Sorry, I called that a T-con, didn't I? It's a blooming inverter. This is the T-con. Speakers out. If I'm going to turn it upside down and take the screen out, I want to make sure there's no delicate stuff, too much delicate stuff underneath. Right, there's going to be a load of screws around the edge, which there are. So I won't even be able to do a temporary repair on this today. All we'll be able to do on this is have a look at the backlights themselves, which I'll need to have a look at so I can take some pictures, because it looks like this is a bit of guesswork to what screen they've used. I have done some research on this TV, and the research told me it was a LG 32-inch backlit set with a standard LG screen. Now, this could still be an LG screen, but it's not the one that came up when I did some research. Right. Is that all the screws? There's always one. There's always 5. Let's lift it off and attempt to remove the screen then. I do believe there are bits of tape all these screws that you have to go through to get to the back of a TV and attempt to remove the screen, and yet you're foiled at the end by some blooming tape. I can hear more tape. I can hear it. I can't see it. Ah, we're getting there. Almost. The front's off. Little bits of tape. Okay. Look at that for a snug fitting screen. Very nice. The only problem is with these snug fitting screens, is trying to lift out the screen. Anyway, there you go. I don't know if you can see how thin these are, which is why you have to be very delicate. Rest that up there. It's a shame that I'm not going to be able to bring this back to life tonight. Now, there are a lot of people that repair TVs that would have gone into a much more detailed diagnosis. They would have tested voltage on the inverter board. But there's no need to do that. It's a one blink code, it's backlights. The TV is 7 years old, it's backlights. Or edge lights, I suppose we should call it. On the screen that remains a mystery. And probably the only way I'm going to find out what screen is inside here is by doing a bit of further research. In saying that, there is a number there. I don't know if you can see. 6922L0054A11. And there you can see the lights. So no backlight strips. It's an edge-lit strip. And what I will do, we'll plug it back in. And we'll see if we can see, because there's going to be one of these. There's going to be one of these, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 that aren't going to turn on. So you're going to see them attempt to turn on, but one of them is not going to turn on, or a few of them are not going to turn on. Right, let's see if we can catch it in time. Ah, there you go. There's lots. So it's that middle section. Now there probably will be just one gone in that middle section. It's I don't know if you saw that, but we'll just go through it again. There we go. One of those does not want to work. So what will happen is, you can take the screws out here and take out the whole panel, but it's just the LED strip that I need. The other thing to test is, where are they plugged in? They're plugged in here. There they are. So I'm just gonna show you what I'm doing. This is where they are plugged in. Not much room to play with, as you can see, but I do get a little grip to unplug. Oh, actually I don't. That's not coming out without a bit of a tug, but I'm just making sure that all that is making connection. It has gone in a little bit, but I doubt very much that that is why there's a section that's not working. I doubt that that has caused, and we'll just check again. No. You're seeing them flicker quite badly on screen, I would have thought, but they're not flickering that badly. Well, I've been searching online for details of just going by the model of the TV, because I couldn't find the make of the screen, even though I'm convinced it was an LG. So I decided to lift off the power supply, which I have done. You can see there. Power supply is now off. I've never seen them put it in this position before. There's the protective shield for the power supply, and there is the screen. So the screen we have is an LC32e6b. 0EUN, so LC320EUN. The FFM1 will be important. So I've got to go looking for a brand new one of those, and it's going to take, I would think, a couple of weeks for it to come in. But the great thing is, because I'm not using this workshop as such, I don't have to put the TV back together. It can actually stay here waiting for the backlights to let me start to put these back. Put the power board back. So this can stay here because nobody comes in here. It's just me, so it's all safe. So at least we've dissected the TV. We definitely know what the fault is. We know it's backlights. We didn't have to be testing voltage for inverters or anything like that. That's fine to do that if you want to make the video a little bit more lengthy and go down rabbit holes. Of which I don't. I'd rather have a cup of tea. Oh, I've got some beers in. I've got some Budweiser beers in. Am I allowed to say that? Well, I have. So I'm going to... I didn't take a photograph of the LC32e6b FFM1, wasn't it? How did I remember that? God knows. But that's what it is, and that's what I shall go looking for. So hopefully within the next couple of weeks, I'm going to buy a brand new one. It'll have to come from China. So it'll take 2 weeks. I could buy a second-hand one off eBay if they've got it. I doubt they have, but buying the second-hand one off eBay will be more expensive than a brand new one in China. So there will be a part 2 to this, I promise. Eventually, sometime. See you soon. Right, just a quick update. I've been searching online at my usual suppliers, and I cannot find the identical edge-lit strip for these backlights anywhere. I just can't. I've got similar ones, but not identical. This one has got 45 LEDs on it. The others have got 42. Will that make a difference? It could do. Even though they're very close in the screen numbers. I think it will make a difference, and that's going to be a gamble. But that's the bad news. The good news is, while testing the backlights, the LEDs individually, they all work. So it's not a bad backlight that I have. It's one that's not been making contact. And after prodding it just a little bit... Sorry, I don't know what... After prodding it just a little bit, you can see that the little blighter has come off. But I've tested it and it's still working. So I'm going to take this up to my other workshop tomorrow. I'm going to put a blob of solder on there, a finite blob of solder on there, and down that side as well. There is another one in that corner which I can't get to, sadly. But I think fixing that back on with patience will get this to work. If that doesn't work, I may just try shorting across there just to get the TV working, and until I find the backlights that are correct for this. My boss has got much better eyesight than me, so I'm going to give him the soldering iron and get him to solder that back on. But I think that should do it. Well, we can give it a go. I just wish I could find a whole new strip. But at the moment, I can't. But we'll have to wait and see.